For once, I'm actually on time based on the schedule. Hello, welcome. Welcome to today's stream. I've got some fair number of things to talk about that we're going to be checking out as well. So it's everything is not really a surprise. It's in the title, so you'll have some idea of what we're doing today. I didn't get as far in Dragon's Dogma as I said I would yesterday after the stream. I had things to do. There were many things that I do, and I got really busy. Things are nice. I'm gonna tell you right now, things are very, very nice. Things are very, very good. A lot of good things happening. Solid. And also, I get more progress done on a bunch of projects. I've actually been addicted to making a StarCraft 1 map. That EUD segment showed me the possibility, and it's weird. I feel more motivated to make mods for a game than I do necessarily to make my own game. And I think it's because it's already mostly done, right? You have most of the IP already there, and so all you're really doing is just remixing it. Compared to making your own thing, where it's like you need to figure out, okay, like what is even like the setting? What do you do? It's like having a thing that's already there. You can build on top of what's already there so easily that you end up almost feeling more creative because so much of the initial like foundational framework is like done for you. And so it's much easier to just go in and like think of like cool ideas versus getting stuck in the weeds of like, okay, like what's this character's motivation and stuff. Still really enjoy modding as a tool, even if it's not really, useful. But boy oh boy, is this obsession getting crazy. So, a couple things. I was going through a lot of code as well last night because I didn't know this. Well, I knew about it, but I didn't know that it was actually just publicly available. StarCraft has a StarCraft 1 has a still budding AI development scene. Not AI as in like what LLMs are today, that people say is AI, and also not AI as in like what AI is, right? Like people's idea of AI is like the iRobot movie, right? Is it the iRobot movie? Is that the one where they're smart? Is that the one where they're smart or where they kill people? Which is there's like a movie where the robots try to kill people, and then there's a movie where the robots are just smart. But it's neither of those. It's like the AI of like the game itself. They have an API to allow you to make your own AI to play the game, and apparently this is still going on. There's still tournaments for pitting your StarCraft AI against other StarCraft AI. It's a bit like chess AI, where it's not really solved, and so it's like they're still doing things to figure out, okay, what's like there. And apparently, universities still do it as like a fun thing to teach people programming, teach people like concepts of like how to make an AI and stuff. It's a bit fascinating. I don't really know why it still exists, but I'm kind of happy that it does. But in reading the code, actually, I went down like a giant rabbit hole. I realized not only is it how do I say this? Not only is there a lot of code about it that's still there, there's a lot of diverse types of code, if that makes sense. Basically, the code that I was reading, at some point, I saw like identifiers that were in like another language. So identifiers being like variable names and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, this is weird, right? Because it never occurred to me that you could do that, even though I knew it was possible, right? Like there's Code Golf for C++, where the program is written in like emojis and stuff like that, and it's totally valid because it's for a long time Unicode identifiers have been possible for the language. It's weird to see it in practice for a language that isn't English. And then it got me thinking how weird it is that English is like the lingua franca of the entire programming world, and how that came to be. You know what I mean? Like I was actually curious why that started. And it's mainly because a lot of the research just started over in like America. Like a lot of the research around programming, around computing, just started in America, and then it spread outwards. And then the internet being a U.S. military invention initially, and then spreading out from America outwards, meant that a lot of the initial information that was online was just in English. And then when other countries wanted to hop onto it, they had to, effectively, like people had to learn English to like work with it until your local regional servers started to become like a thing, right? Now, obviously, every country has their own subset of the internet, their own slice, where you can just interact in your own language and you never have to leave. Again, like we explored Bilibili last time, which is a fascinating place. Boy, oh boy, the amount of clickbaits and the amount of Spider-Man with massive titty videos is intense. But it's interesting how it all works, right? It's very, very interesting because it's like, even though a lot of it is like, built for like their own regional audience, the way that they interact with the rest of the world is still in English. And even a lot of the code that is written like overseas that I've seen is still written in like English, and it's very, very strange the way that it's like written. Sorry, I paused there because I heard someone crying, and I was like, I think my niece is like, I think my niece is like freaking out. I don't know why. And it's fascinating to sort of see that, right? Because it's like, why do these systems still, even when you work in a very local context, still use English for so many things, right? And I tried to look into it. Apparently, there's no programming language that has like non-English identifiers. Even Ruby, which was created by a Japanese developer, has no Japanese like identifiers that I could like tell as like a built-in to the language. Like, all of it is in English. Like, you can use your own variable names, and actually a lot of places recommend you, and a lot of industries recommend you to like program within your own language, so that it's like clear, okay, like what is your code going to like do, and how is it going to interact with the rest of your system, right? Like domain specific knowledge. But it's fascinating to see that there's no programming language out there that's just written in like a different language. And I almost tried to wrap my head around that like concept, and I couldn't figure out how that would feel, right? Like, imagine you had to program something, and you had and all the statements that you had to write was in French. What's the French word for for? I don't know. What's like a for loop? For in French. Pour. So imagine you write pour, open brace, and or like pour parentheses, and you like do like some thing. What's like integer in French? Entier. Imagine you had to type ent. Count, whatever, num count, instead of like int, right? Like, it's weird to think about that. And it's weird that that's just never happened. At least it's interesting that the entire world has decided that English is a usable lingua franca, but there's still comments written in like a specific language. But when there's comments written in like a different language, you always see it alongside like English name code, so it's very easy to sort of understand what's going on. It's fascinating to see the programming world very early on move towards a single thing such that everybody could use it, mostly by happenstance. But it is nice to see that sort of happen. Being from Germany, you've seen a lot of rookie programmers write classes, variables, etc. in German, and it looks so weird to you. Thank God my chat actually on this. Thank God. See, this is why I enjoy streaming so much, right? I can talk about like a weird topic that's like very niche. Literally the topic is a topic that nobody should care about, right? It's a topic about writing variable names and stuff in a different language than English, and I'm like, there's no way somebody else has this experience. And then because I'm streaming, chat can just come in and be like, yeah, from Germany, yeah, some rookie programmers do this, and it's awful. No, it's not awful. But the fact that it looks weird to you is like fascinating, right? Because yeah, like because there was a period of time when I was working in an overseas environment, and it's like, okay, like we were communicating in like a different language, but like when we were doing programming, anytime I saw a comment that wasn't in like English, I would be like I would do like a double take and then be like, huh? Like even just for like comments, right? And so to know that people do that, and to know that it's also weird to them, is very, very nice. Very, very nice. And again, it's weird. It's weird how English is like the lingua franca for programming. But welcome. Thank you for your valuable input. That sounds so sarcastic. I actually do mean, thank you. German does have established rules to substitute the special characters, which makes it less of a problem, but still. Wait. So what do you substitute? Okay, so how German has like the umlaut, right? Is it the umlaut? What do you substitute the umlaut with? Because like if you just do like an O, right? Like what's a German word that has a regular O and an umlaut O in it, right? Wouldn't you get confused? Like an umlaut U plus a regular U? Like wouldn't you get confused seeing it then? Or it's like a whole different thing. A equals AE, OE, UE. What the hell is that letter? What is that? What's that B looking letter? What is this? Wait, okay. People not in chat won't know this. Like people just watching the VOD will be like, "What are you talking about, streamer? This? What is this? You Germans use this? What is this?" The German letter It's an eschet? What? It's an eschet? Eschet is a ligature and it's also called a sharp's S. A sharp S. But it's simpler than it sounds. It actually just means SS. What? What does that mean? It just means SS? Isn't that... I thought you guys stopped that. That's interesting. It's a ligature between the long S and the round S. Wait, what? What's a round S? S. 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 I don't know. See, that's where you lose me, right? Okay, see, maybe it's a good thing that they break it down. Maybe it's a good thing. Because I wouldn't even begin to understand how to use that unless I see the form SS. Like, me seeing the form, like, that B equals SS makes it way easier to understand. Okay, this is how you say it. It's a sharp S sound that makes the preceding vowel long. That makes the preceding vowel long. What? So, like, S... So, like that. So, like, literally like that, no? Like, S... Or preceding... Or is it preceding as in... Wait. Is preceding? Preceding is before. So, the vowel before. So, it's literally just like S. It's just like that. Or like, oos. No, if you read SS, it would be a sharp S sound with a short vowel in the front. Like in English. Oh, like so? Or I don't know any... trying to think of like a vowel. I don't know. Soul? Or like soul? I don't know. It's hard to think of like what is a sharp S sound. Like an S always sounds sharp to me. I don't know. But see, that's why English is not the superior language. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. But programming in English does reduce the confusion somewhat. It's just fascinating that's how it happened. Wait, so if you see programmers doing that and they write it inside German, do they ever get like told like, hey, like don't use German in their code? Like, do they then have to like learn English to like do it? Because I know the ones that I talked to when I was working, they had to learn English to convert all their code into like a whatever language they were in, right? And for them it was kind of annoying, but all they needed to really know was like the domain names of the thing we were working on. So if it was like a microcontroller, they would just need to know like, you know, words like PCB and stuff, right? And then other common words like num for number, counts, is or was, stuff like that. No, okay, so the word mass is a short vowel. Oh, but if you pronounce it as mass, it would be the z, the sharp s, the sz. Oh, okay, I understand. I get what you mean. So it's like mass, and then mass. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna practice that. Okay, so every time I go to Germany, I'm gonna say words, but like elongate them to really, you know, reflect my knowledge of the eschet. Knowing enough English to understand documentation and the existing code base is pretty much a requirement to get a job. See, that's the thing, right? Because I've read translated documentation for languages, in the few languages that I know how to read some of it. And I always found the translated documents to be the worst part, right? Like the English documentation was almost always the best one. Some languages had it better than others. Like some languages had way more support for certain things versus others. Like reading on it last night, I know that Ruby has surprisingly, apparently very good Japanese documentation. Obviously, right? But C++ and Rust also have very good Chinese documentation. But you know, other languages it can vary. Like the Vietnamese documentation is like weak. The South Korean documentation for some programming languages, it can be weak depending on what the language is. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to sort of see like the variability and like what's like available. So at least for documentation, it makes sense that knowing enough English would like help. But yeah, see, this is why I enjoy streaming, right? Streaming, as weird as it is the most parasocial activity where you get to really, really talk to strangers, right? I think in real life, if you walk up to a stranger and you say, "Hey, did you know? Have you ever thought about this? Like, did you know that programming is usually done in like English?" Most people that you walk up to, if not every person that you walk up to, would look at you and say, "Yo, dude, are you high?" And they would walk away. They'd walk away, and you'd look crazy. But while streaming, while you're streaming, it makes sense to ask people this because you never really know where people are from online. also because maybe there's a predisposition to like people being online and people being programmers. I've noticed like if you're online a lot, most people tend to be in some technological role because it's like it's what you do already. You know what I mean? Like it's just a part of what you do. You've been burned with official tutorials and guides being outdated or wrong in the German version. Yeah, I've actually heard of that a lot. I've heard of that a lot from a lot of people. I used to work with a Singaporean guy. He was here temporarily on a contract to sort of help us like build something, and he was a cool dude. But he was like, yeah, man, and like just Singaporean, so they end most sentences with like the word "la." Again, when you hear the Singaporean accent, my favorite accent because it's very hard to not want to say the word "la" with them, even though it's kind of like okay, like that's kind of messed up. But at the same time, it's like when they say it, it's like it's such a good ending to like some sentences where it's like when they ended with like "la" and they do that certain intonation, it's like damn, that's a good way of like emoting almost as part of your sentence. Yeah, he like mentions that like yeah like a lot of the documentation in his language, which I forgot which, because Singapore is like a triple language. I think a triple language country was like very very poor. So tell you about it. It's what you like about VR chat. You know, those random niche conversations with strangers, but the community does skew towards people in like tech. That's the thing, right? That's what I feel like. Because online stuff, I've noticed this in my niece actually. So my niece is older. She's like 15 now. She's getting older. It's crazy. I remember when she was like a baby, you know what I mean? Like she was like the family baby. It's like, oh, we have a new baby in the family. You know what I mean? I remember when my niece was a little baby and now she's so old. Like I don't have time to go on anymore, man. All the kids are getting older. It's like, oh man. Soon they're gonna have to like go out there and figure out the like world. And it's like, oh. See, I talk like this, and then in the same breath I'll say like I hate kids. But yeah, I was talking to her. And her even though she's younger, right? Like none of her friends are like into technology, and she's not into technology, and so they actually do nothing online. Well, not like nothing, but like the things that they do online are like the basics. Like they text people, they go on Snapchat, they like go on like she sometimes uses Discord, and she sometimes plays Fortnite. But like it's like not something that's like a heavy thing, right? When what I've noticed is that the popular things that are popular in terms of like okay, the games you play or the platforms you can use or just social media, you don't really need to be like a very technical person. But to like be on Twitch or something, right? And to want to talk inside chat, what I've noticed is that if you're willing to go that far, you're probably already talking in other online communities, or you've already talked in like other online communities as like well, right? And that kind of skews you towards this like group of people who are at least knowledgeable enough about how to interface with those online communities and like are willing enough to put their opinions out there, which is usually people who are very very surprisingly niche in their thing. Like it's rare to get a normal person in an online interaction, at least from my experience. It's been very very rare. Like because it's like the normal people are out there just they're living their life, playing Fortnite for one or two games, texting their friends, Snapchatting their friends, and then going to the mall. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a very different life. It's a very different life. We're cave goblins, chat. We're cave goblins. What I'm trying to say, we're cave goblins. But see, you're brave for wanting to go onto VR chat. I've wanted to try like a VR chat, like go into any room and talk to people thing. The problem is that streaming wise, I know that's gonna be awful. 100% I know that's gonna be awful. Because someone's gonna be like, hey, do you want an ERP? Like 100% that's gonna happen. But one day I do want to do it. Because I've heard that on VR chat, like a lot of interesting people are there. Not interesting as in like a zoo, but interesting as in like, it's like a place where people feel more free to be who they are, right? Which I think is very, important. And I would love to talk to people to get to understand them and sort of see like what they are. But at the same time, I don't want to be that like voyeur, right? Like I don't want to be the like voyeuristic voyager who like comes in, asks you a couple questions, records you, and it leaves, right? It's like okay, thanks. You just like it's like a perversion in and of itself to like invade someone's personality. It says comment on a meme recently that hit pretty hard. We are the generation that has to teach both our parents and our children how to use a printer. Actually though, holy moly. So my brother is like 10 years older. So which is like basically like he's like basically like a fully grown adult while I was still like a kid, right? I remember having to teach him so much about computers. Stop stuttering the word computer. God damn it. But also now I need to teach my niece like, okay, how do you do certain things on the computer? Like, how do you fix certain things, right? And it's like, damn, like, it's weird. But it's true though, because at schools don't surprisingly a lot of schools don't teach computing anymore. So it's like they just gonna get like thrown into the fray, and computing has now like before, right? Our generation, and also our previous generation, computing was like a hard thing to get into because it wasn't easy to like use. So you had to learn like a lot about it to be able to like use it. And the more that you learned about it, the more naturally I think most people got more curious about it to want to go into that deep dive to get even deeper into the technical weeds, right? Whereas right now, technology is very easy to use. Like, I'm surprised when my dad has a problem with his iPhone because I'm like, dude, like this thing is literally made for like, you know, for old people to want to use, and they're trying to get your pension money. You know what I mean? Like it's literally made to extract money from the retirement system back into Apple. Like it's so easy to use. How do you still get confused with it? But then sometimes he'll just text me something in like our native language, and I'm like, how did you learn how to text? Like, how did you do that? You know what I mean? And then I realized it's because it's easy. It's great. So yeah, unfortunately, we are the active teachers. The scheme has been exposed. You heard it here first. Look, is it wrong to say that? Is it wrong? Tell me. Try it. Try to argue against me. It's not wrong. Trust me, okay? Next time you buy an next time you go into an Apple store, chat, okay? Look around. Look at all the people there. Take note of their ages, and just know most of them are at retirement age, and therefore they're funneling money from the retirement system into Apple. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it works, chat. Another interesting thing happened to me today. Actually, this is another thing that I've noticed today. There's too many platforms to keep keep in touch with people. I don't know if you've had this, but it just happened to me, and I was like, wow, this is a major problem that I never really realized because I don't use social media. I basically don't use social media, right? I don't even use Twitter to like tweet anything usually. I use it to see things. I have no Snapchat. I used to have Snapchat for a while, but it got annoying like taking photos, and I usually like take photos for myself, so like it doesn't really matter. I don't use Well, I use Instagram for memes, but like that's about it, right? And also photos of my dog. All I post on Instagram is just photos of my dogs. My Instagram is just my face as a profile photo, and then every single dog that we've ever had, just every single photo. You'll definitely steal that line for the next time you talk to an Apple user. Please do say it to them, and they're going to like laugh. Trust me on this. But the one, I guess, social media that I do use is Discord. And I never really realized this thing because I recently had to log back on to Spotify, to Facebook, to log into my Spotify. I know that's crazy to think about. But when I first signed up for Spotify, I signed up with my Facebook account, which was a stupid idea, but I was like single sign-on. Bet. You know what I mean? Like, I love single sign-on. I don't want to think of another password ever again. And then I got a password manager, and my life has been better for it. But I should have thought about the password manager first. Anyways, get a password manager. Don't do single sign-on. It's way better. So logging onto Facebook. So it's my friend's birthday today. I said happy birthday to them personally. And then all of a sudden, in like 3 different group chats, some people are saying happy birthday. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll say it here too. And then Facebook people are saying it. And I'm like, okay, do you say it on Facebook too? Like, how many places are you supposed to say happy birthday to? Like, it feels so performative on some level, right? To like say happy birthday in like multiple times in multiple public places when everybody's in the same places. Like, I don't understand why we do it. And it was weird seeing it on Facebook, especially because like I log back into Facebook and my friends list is like large. But it's people that I don't talk to. I just have them as friends because like it's social media. I mean, like Facebook, like the way it's designed, it's like designed for you to like collect friends almost, right? To like build your network. That's just a natural consequence of like how it works, right? Yeah, I even have coworkers on there, and it's like, what do my coworkers care about? Like, you know, like me saying happy birthday to my friend, coworkers/friends, right? Like it doesn't make sense. But I also realized that I wish, and this is a deep down wish of mine, I wish my friends would just stick to one single platform and just stay on that platform and never switch. So recently, within the past couple of months, my friend group has made multiple different servers for multiple different things. I am now in... Let me just count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... Holy shit. 23 servers. 23 servers. It was... I went 23 servers. At the start of the year, it was like 18, okay? Like, it was already too much. And then my friend group decided to splinter into three different like Discord servers due to some like weird drama thing. And then now it's like but the thing is that the drama stopped. I had no clue about it. The like drama stopped, and now everybody's in the exact same servers, right? And we had to say happy birthday in every single one. And I'm like, this feels so performative, guys. And I wish there was like one global social media. I know that sounds crazy, and it sounds like I'm asking for like a giant, Deus Ex kind of thing, right? But I kind of wish there was just one platform that you could go on and you could keep in touch with people. I think modern games and the way that modern like technology-based games, the way they do the writing for these games, like when you play Deus Ex, Human Revolution, or even like Mankind Divided, when you play any game where it has like a fake phone, like what's that game that we just played recently? It was like a visual novel set in the Philippines. It was so good too. It was so good. I remember the like name of it. I remember the gameplay, and I remember it was like fantastic. But imagine, okay, like those games, right? It's fascinating to see how they do the social media angle. And it's like there's only one social media platform, and it's usually like a fake Facebook, right? But in reality, realistically, you'd be spending most of your game scrolling through your in-game phone, trying to find like that one message in that one group on that one application, that you need to see for like one single purpose, because everyone uses like a different one. It's fascinating to sort of see how like simplified like fiction is, and how they make it so like easy to sort of like play with. When in reality, it's like a clusterfuck. There's just so much noise. It would be interesting to see what it would feel like as a single platform, though, because again, some of these games make it look really nice. Like there was another game that had like a similar concept where it was kind of like a social media, like a way to connect with people on like on like a scan my thing basis, and then like we're like connected for the rest of our like time. And I thought that was so cool because you could scan anyone. Oh, I think it was Cyberpunk or something. Like how everything in like Cyberpunk is like the common thing, so you can talk to like everybody, and it's like it's very easy to just connect with someone for like a long period of like time, right? And it's like I would want that versus like whatever we currently have. I think there's some difference between countries, and it's crazy to imagine. But in a lot of developing countries to this day, Facebook is almost synonymous with the internet. Yes. Okay, so this is the thing that's weird about Facebook too, that I was reading as well. Did you know that Facebook actually is an ISP? Where like Facebook provides internet to like people? They're not really an ISP. They front an ISP, but they sell internet. So here, Facebook, internet developing countries. Yeah. So they made deals in countries that include Pakistan, Indonesia, and the Philippines to let people use a limited version of Facebook and browse some other websites without having to pay money to their to their service provider in terms of like a data charge, or in terms of like just paying for like service. So it's like Facebook is actually one of the few free sites that people can like access in a lot of places. So Facebook pays money, a lot of money actually, to be used for free in a lot of different places. Usually it's places that don't usually have like a very like good or established infrastructure for the stuff, or like just in general where it's like very cost prohibitive, and like where the price per unit is like cheap when you convert it to like USD. So it's easy for Facebook to step in and be like, hey, we want to make this deal. It's better for them, and it's relatively cheap for like them. But it also kind of locks in the people there to using Facebook, because it's like if you want to talk to someone, do you pay 50% of your wages for like an internet connection, or use Facebook, which is free? And it's crazy because there was another streamer, Disguised Toast, who talked about this. When he went to Facebook, so Disguised Toast is a streamer who does like Hearthstone videos. He also does other weird videos. He's a part of the group called Offline TV or something. He makes videos, and then he was one of the few people who got a contract to go to Facebook Gaming. And he took the bag. It was like a couple $1 million, I think. So when the news broke, I think that was during the time when everybody was moving to a different platform because of like major contracts. Like I remember that was also around the time of Mixer, and that was when YouTube started like pushing out major contracts as well. Which, fun fact, now every platform has decided to rescind that mindset. Even Twitch is like they don't give out major contracts anymore because even for the larger streamers, they actually had a negative return on their value. So even the largest streamers out there cannot make Twitch money. So there's definitely something wrong there. But when he went to the Facebook streaming platform, what he said was that there's actually a surprising amount of people who use Facebook for everything, and who actually use Facebook as a daily source of news and even entertainment. So Facebook streaming is again very large in those developing countries, like developing quote unquote. But basically, outside of the West, Facebook is like massive, right? It's like outside of the West and like Europe, it's like everywhere, and they actually use Facebook for like everything. So Facebook Live, people really watch that a lot. You see it now actually on TikTok. I think TikTok and Instagram are the best examples of this, where the market for like what's on TikTok Live and an Instagram Live is completely different compared to what's there in like the West or like Europe. Like when I go on TikTok Live or Facebook Live, to be fair, a lot of this is Instagram Live. To be fair, a lot of this is like their marketing and their targeting. I get a lot of people from China, from Southeast Asia who are just live streaming. And I'm like, what the? And they don't have Twitch or anything. And I'm like, it's weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird to see that be on a TikTok Live, but not on Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's weird. But it's like, when I think about it, it's like being on Twitch is also weird. Because, like, what makes that platform any better than the rest? And what makes, these platforms better than Facebook Live? But you also go on Facebook, and it's like, yeah, a lot of people in China, a lot of people in Southeast Asia, which is, the most of the demographic that I'm, like, in, is on just like live, and they're just hanging out, and people just drop in, and they have a lot of viewers. They have like multiple tens of thousands of viewers at like a baseline. Some of them have like hundreds of thousands of viewers, and I'm like, holy shit! Like if they came to Twitch, they would probably implode the servers, right? It makes me realize that Twitch as a platform, they're doing something wrong that they can't capture that market. Like somehow they cannot capture that market of like people who are going live and they're getting these massive numbers, right? Like there's something clearly wrong here, and I think it's mainly because there's just no other content on Twitch. Like TikTok and Instagram, you go on TikTok and Instagram for your respective reasons, right? To view funny memes or TikToks, or to view people's like food reviews, or like to see people's photos, right? And then you happen to stumble upon a live where for me and my wife, it's a lot of nail stuff because she's a beautician. She does a lot of beauty stuff. And then we just see people doing like really cool nail art design on like those like fake hands, which looks terrifying to me, but I digress. But they are terrifying. They look very real, but they look very like lifeless and like pale. And it's like, what is going on here, right? Like there's so many people there. It's like, what? Feels like an untapped market almost. Or like maybe I should move to TikTok Live. You know what I mean? Maybe it's time for me to play games on the TikTok. I've seen gaming streams even on TikTok Live. It's so weird, right? Because it's like the portrait mode. So what they usually do is they just do it either sideways, which is like so trippy because you need to turn your phone sideways to watch it, or they do the letterboxing with the bars on top and the bars on the bottom. And I'm like, what is this? Same with Facebook. A lot of people do it as well on Facebook because a lot of people who use Facebook are just on mobile, right? Instagram Live is a whole different place. Instagram Live, what I've noticed is it's a lot of people just like hanging out. Instagram Live is like the just chatting of like, other platforms. And then Twitter Live is like, honestly, Twitter Live is like insanity. I actually checked out a Twitter Live recently, and it was just straight up like adult content. And I was like, what is this? Why is this recommended to me in my feed? I listen, I get a lot of pussy and bio bots. A lot. Every day now there's a new pussy and bio bot that follows me. It's actually a chore to get rid of them. I'm actually thinking of dropping my Twitter account entirely, and just for stream's sake using the YouTube community feature, because the pussy and bio bots on YouTube still haven't found me. But man, like Twitter Live is the one place where I'm like, people go there for a completely different reason. Not to rag the people who like go there, and obviously like what I mean, it's like a real thing. But it's like, what you're there for. It's wild to me. But yeah, that's why I wish everything was on one like platform. It would make it so much easier. Imagine the views I could get, right? Maybe just maybe I could get affiliate. One day. I'm just kidding. I actually don't care. But yeah, that was all the stories I had for you. today. There's a lot of interesting stories, and there's just a lot of like interesting things that I found about programming, about social media. Again, I'm glad that I'm streaming because it's so funny when I stream and I talk about a niche topic, and chat goes, "Wait, I know that." Or like, "Wait, I worked on that." It's like, what the fuck? What are you doing here? Like, chat. Okay, chat. If you say, okay, if I talk about these niche topics, right? The reason why I'm on here is because I have nothing else to do, right? But if you know what I'm talking about, go out there, get your bag, don't even come back. Don't come back until you're a millionaire within the next year, all right? You're going to be a millionaire by the end of this year if you know any of this. Go out there, live your life, and then come back later and then give me some of that by subscribing to me. Just kidding. But today, it's not just talking. We've been talking for half an hour now. Today's going to be an interesting day. You may have noticed that from the title of today, there's 3 things, okay? 1, we're going to be seeing some Getty art. I don't know how to explain this. The Getty, which is a museum, but also an art exhibit, also a art curation and like art archive, or and also like an art archiving program, has made 88,000 new images, books, and so on free to use under CC0, copyright 0, something copyright 0, carbon copyright 0. So we actually get to just check out a bunch of these. It's gonna be interesting to see all of these and figure out what they are and just see what they do and just explore art because I don't really understand art. The next thing is that I was reading SCPs last night. It's why I'm kind of tired today because I couldn't sleep because I was scared. Actually, I was terrified. There was some noises like in our room and I was like, whoa, what was that noise? So I was like, I was freaking out most of the night. But I found an SCP about a bag of potatoes and I wanted to read it to you all because I thought it was funny. And then we're gonna finish Dragon's Dogma 1 today. We're gonna finish the entire game. I'm gonna drop down to normal mode because I found out hard mode was designed as a new game plus mode. I've been playing a new game plus, but without the plus. I've just been playing a new game plus, but I didn't have any of the pluses. I just had a new game on hard mode. So I've been unintentionally hamstringing myself. I can finish this game easily, and also I became a magic archer. I like it way more than any other class. It's so much more fun. But we'll get into that. Got it. First become a millionaire, then funnel my money into sticker stream to turn it into a pawn on my quest to world domination. You got it, boss. You want me to say anything? I'll say anything. Mass. Anyways, give me a moment to set up the Getty art segment. And be sure, remember, if you pay me money, I will say anything you want me to say, right? I'll be like those videos. Like those, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a 5-head move. It's people who make videos where they say something and it's like they get a bunch of their friends to say something and they write it on like a chalkboard and they charge $30 for it, which back in their home country is like, you know, a year's worth of salary. It's actually genius to do, and I wish that I thought of that when I was poorer, but I was also born in like the West where $30 wouldn't really afford me much. So unfortunately, I was born in the wrong generation. Had I been born later, chat, I would have been an online genius, like Big Man Tyrone. Yes, exactly like him. Yeah, yes. But he does like the news segment, right? His is like the news segment thing. Although I really enjoy his stuff. My God, it's so good. But like imagine his stuff. But like this one is like about. But this one is like a chalkboard, and they're all sitting around it, like in like a fake classroom, and they're just like reading it. His latest video on his channel, by the way, did Big Man Tyrone just shit his pants? Ha 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 ha. What is this? Eternal boost, cheap Discord Nitro and server boost. There's no way. Happy birthday to November born viewers from Big Man Tyrone. Big Man Tyrone launches back to school video promo, 90% off. The Emperor protects Jordan. What is this? What? Teal Masters Halo 2 experience. What is this? It is kind of genius, but like this guy will do anything. This guy will do any topic. Happy birthday to all January born viewers. Happy birthday to all February born viewers. What is this? Meet Lyra, the mother of dog. Huh? Lacey's new chapter. Berserk Inu set to go nuts. This is like I'm reading titles from his channel, okay? Like I'm actually just like reading it. What is this? Big man Tyrone attempts world's longest sussy baka scream. What is this, chat? Grim dark erotica. What? I can't believe. I can't, listen. Okay. Honestly, even if I could make $1 million doing that, I don't think I could. I don't think I at least wouldn't want to show my face. I don't think I could reasonably do it without cringing on a daily basis about what I do. Right? This like streaming already feels very cringy because it's like it's a thing I do on the side that I really enjoy, but I feel cringy putting myself out there. Right? But that I would feel cringy doing what he does. Oh. So it's quite common with the programming. Get paid by European/North American standards while living in a low-income country. You maybe work like 2 months a week. Two months a week. That's crazy. Time. Time is like water. Sometimes you turn the faucet open. You work like 2 weeks a month and are set. Yes. I actually know a bunch of people who are like that. And there's a whole subculture which I hate the subculture, if only because a lot of the people who are in it are like the definition of like a tech bro. It's called a digital nomad, where they live on the road, and they go around like, you know, living anywhere. Some of them live in like RVs and stuff, and then they just program and they just do it for like a contract, and they just live their life somewhere. The problem that I have with that is that usually the people who do it are like kind of like weird, or like very very like they're very very weirdly. Not exploitative. Like their mindset is almost like I'm gracing these lands with my presence. And it's almost like that's so egotistical. That's so like something about like you're not gracing these lands, and they feel like they're like, you know, a god among earth to be able to like live on the road and make money doing anything from anywhere. It's like There's a very viral post actually of a person on LinkedIn. Again, LinkedIn, guys, chat, I have LinkedIn. Okay, I have a real ass LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn is like fat with a PH. Like it is fat. My LinkedIn is insane. My connections are wild. All right, I've got connections to so many people, but because of those connections, I don't actually like ever use them. I use these connections to look at the crazy shit that people post. If you connect with your CEO or like the CEOs of places that you work at, if you connect with executives or VPs, if you connect with team leads or like, you know, other major roles like director or whatever they call it at your company, right? You're guaranteed to eventually your feed will be full of posts from people saying, you've got to work hard. You got to get into that grind set. Every day you've got to sweat until the skin off your back falls off or something. And it's like, what is going on in this place? Like, They talk like it's a life or death situation to work in a cubicle. Or like they talk like it's a life and death situation to figure out what line of code to write. And they make it sound like the most dramatic shit ever to go to work. And then they always have like a serious profile photo, and their posts always go viral. And it's like, oh, it's so disgusting to read. It's like, I get cringy just thinking about it. I'm like, ah. And I love seeing those posts so much. It's why I follow people so much on LinkedIn. Like anytime I go work somewhere new, I'm like, please give me a LinkedIn. I need to get into your algorithm. I need to see some weird fucking shit. And I always ask my coworkers, like, please share some weird shit they see. I'm gonna try to follow these like people. I curated my LinkedIn not to be a usable job site. Like, if somebody looks at my LinkedIn and goes, wow, they work with these people and they talk with these people, they must be something. I don't know half these people. I just follow them because, like, why not? Yeah, some crazy shit, chat. Some crazy shit. And I love it. And it's always, again, it's a certain type of personality that I found that it has commonality and, like, intersects very, very well with this type of, like, person who writes those, like, very cringy, memey LinkedIn posts. It's the type of person who's, like, usually very high up. Usually when you're high up, it usually comes with some sense of like some drive that makes you get there. And that drive inherently is pretty cringe. I was just saying, it's pretty cringe to be high up. It's pretty cringe to want to put yourself in a position that lords over others. It's pretty cringe. And so naturally, their cringy behavior attracts other cringy people, and you see all this like cringe online on LinkedIn because they're all cringe, and everyone else is like cringing at them, but we can't do anything because we don't have that cringe. We're broke compared to them, and so we're powerless. We're powerless. That's why, Chad, you should go get your $1 million, come back, provide me the money so that I can be cringe. We're going on to the segment now.